Hey guys, it is Kuze with the Contraband Esports Network. Today I'm bringing you a Starcraft 2 1v1 between Kiwikaki playing the red Protoss and VirusSatiini playing the blue Terran. Now Kiwikaki, one of my favorite personal players, definitely my favorite Protoss player, and got a couple figures here for you guys. He is 51st in the EU right now and 248th in the world. Very impressive. Probably most well known for his game against Huck, the MLG tournament, that whole War of the Worlds business, which is a fantastic game. Go check it out if you haven't already. Meanwhile, VirusSatiini down here playing the blue Protoss, and he is 9th in the EU and 79th in the world, so actually better ranked than Kiwikaki is. Mainly because VirusSatiini plays looks like a lot more in terms of the rankings that I could find than Kiwikaki does on Battle.net. So not to take anything away from him, though. He's a fantastic player and definitely one of the best in the world. So we're on Shakuras Plateau today, and just take a look around. Got a couple of Xel'Nagas in the middle. Important to control the middle as much as you can on this map. Map control very important. And but we see nothing too out of the ordinary from these players. Getting a pylon up. It should be about 13 gate from Kiwikaki. Loves to do that, and there it is. And bunkers coming up from VirusSatiini, so nothing out of the ordinary. Take a moment. All these players are getting their stuff set up. To mention, as always, that if you got replays, we'd love to cast them for you if they are good. So send them over CESNreplays@gmail.com. And if you want to be a caster for CESN, we'll pay you monies to do so. And that information is also below the video in the description section, so check that out. And now we see nothing too crazy still coming from these players. Got a gas up, gateway up, 16 gas, 13 gate, another pylon for Kiwikaki, bunker coming up now for Satini, getting a marine out, nothing crazy, just going to make sure that if he does get rushed with something that he's ready for it. Take a quick look in terms of scouting, neither player really knowing where the other is at this point, and this is a fairly large map, so it is kind of important to get a scout out. Interesting that we see one out from Satini, but we do not see one from Kiwikaki at this point. So will that play a role as this game progresses? We will have to wait and see. Now we see a gateway coming up and a zealot coming up from Kiwikaki. His second gas going down now, and a cybernetics core as well. So that cybernetics core, as soon as it finishes, what we normally see Kiwikaki do is chrono boost out that first stalker once the zealot is done. So we see him switching that gateway to target that SCV. Another pylon over there in the corner, probably going to put some tech in there as the game progresses. Always a smart move to put your tech in the back of your base. This SCV almost getting killed, got 13 health left, going to get out of there just in time. And meanwhile, we see Kiwikaki has found this base. What did he manage to see, though? And he saw pretty much everything except for a supply depot, so he should be in pretty good stead. We see a tech lab coming out with concussive shells for VirusSatiini, and so he's going to go with probably the Marine Marauder ball for now, and we will see what happens there. We got a sentry and a zealot out for Kiwikaki. Obviously, sentry's got force field, which can block off this sort of ramp area, so if he does end up in trouble early, he can do that. We see an expansion out from VirusSatiini, so he's going to probably be going into something a little bit more intense than Marine Marauder balls, or at the very least he thinks he needs more minerals, more gas early, so we'll see what he does with that. We see Cybernetics Core now chrono boosting out that warp gate research for Kiwikaki. A robo facility as well as a gateway coming up for him. It's interesting we don't see a third gateway. So he's going 2 gate with a robo facility, so I would see an observer coming out of there early, and then maybe Immortals into Colossi. We do see Kiwikaki use Colossi almost every game I've seen him play that he actually does well in. He uses Colossi, but he uses them a very good deal. Obviously, there are some situations in which Colossi wouldn't make sense, but we will see what he does. An observer coming out now, and we take a look real quick over at Satini's base. He's got a couple of Marauders in this bunker here, just making sure this expansion doesn't get taken out early. Stem pack research, as well as a reactor now coming out of the second barracks, it looks like. Yeah. So we will see what he does with that. Probably just straight Marines. And got an expansion now from Kiwikaki as well. I don't know if that's because he didn't actually see what was going on at Satini's base, or virus, whatever you want to call him. And he just sort of went and did it out of I don't know, because he felt like he needed it. So that's actually the right play by him, sort of going on his instincts and doing the right thing. So he will not be too far behind in terms of minerals. We see Satini doing a pretty good job getting this getting all of his SCVs out onto this mineral line really quickly and making sure that getting the most out of it, because he went and got it early. And we see this observer now coming in, and Kiwikaki going to see this as well, so he's going to know, okay, we're going to be pretty much even for minerals, and it'll be interesting to see how soon it takes one of them to go for their third expansion. Meanwhile, this robotics facility not doing too much. After that observer, we see a robotics bay coming out from Kiwikaki, so we're going to see Colossi from him, and I can't wait to see that, because Colossi always fun to see. And then meanwhile, over here at Satini's base, just Marine Marauder right now. He's got a factory coming up, so it'll be interesting to see what he pumps out of there. Maybe siege tanks, or maybe even a Thor, which would be nice to see as well. So yep, just Marines coming out of these barracks right now, and neither player really making a move. Most of the time, we see Kiwikaki use a couple of units to just sort of scout and harass, but not so far right now. Is he going to go right into this extended thermal lance research? We will see he's chrono boosting out this Colossus right now. You see the combat shield tech going up for Satini, but nothing else. That got a starport now, so he's going to go Medivac. So Medivac, Marine Marauder, pretty much a standard Terran build. Now this factory, he's going to go ahead and get a reactor. So I wouldn't be too surprised if we see these. Well, I guess not siege tanks. He's going to probably switch it around, actually. I'm sorry, that was stupid. Move that starport in down here so he can get Medivacs out as quickly as he can. We see getting a missile turret detector in response to those observers. Smart move from Satini, keeping him out of the base, making sure that he being Kiwikaki, of course, can't see what's going on. Now we see a forge coming down from Kiwikaki, and I'll probably get these level 1 ground upgrade. You see extended thermal lance now as well, and here we go. So we got another Colossus coming. And so it looks like Kiwikaki can go pretty heavy on these Colossi with a couple of sentries. Wouldn't be surprised if we see more Zealots, maybe a couple of Stalkers more as well, just to keep that unit, this army comp, well-rounded. And we shall see. Got a couple more, another gateway coming up, some infantry level research, Medivacs. And so these guys are really getting ready quickly here. We see, yeah, they did switch this reactor, this factory reactor, in for the starport, and that is going to be very helpful for Satini to get those Medivacs out early. And meanwhile, this factory, he sort of ditched this whole unit, and he's decided to lift it up and scatter around. It's something we saw a lot during beta, and we don't see it as much now, but it is a very good tactic to use as long as you don't need really the buildings. Now we see Satini moving out a little bit here, and this observer is going to pick this up. And so it look, Kiwikaki not really making any move, sort of backing off actually into his natural, and I guess sort of resigning himself to defend for a little bit here. See Satini using a couple Marines to sort of scouts, which is always a good idea to make sure you're not down in expansion, particularly on a map this big. And Satini just taking control of the Selnaga. Worth pointing out, these woods make it very difficult to see what's inside of the Selnaga. So if you do a good job microing, you can really do a lot of harm as long as you maintain the Selnaga expansion. Also doing a good job making sure that there's nothing here. Kiwikaki very sneakily putting a probe down here as sort of scouting, as well as probably going to try and take that at some point. But now we see these obs are here. Satini has some Vikings, so it wouldn't surprise me at all if he has seen this robotics facility, or just assuming that Colossus are coming out, because Vikings obviously very good against Colossus. So he's actually pretty well prepared for this army comp. Take a look at the units tab really quickly. We got 3 Colossi rather for Kiwikaki at this point. A couple, 6 Stalkers, 5 Sentries, 5 Zealots. So in terms of force, I would say that Kiwikaki's slightly got the advantage here, doing a nice sweep. Losing his observer, it looked like there, which is going to hurt him a little bit, but yeah, we see Satini quickly backing off. He must know that these Colossus are here somehow, just from assumption, or maybe he scouted them, not exactly sure. We got 6 Vikings at this point, and those definitely have one purpose, and that's to take down those Colossus. So Kiwikaki got to be very careful. Meanwhile, we see this factory back here doing some really helpful scouting for Satini, and it doesn't look like Kiwikaki's too worried about it. It's not going to really hurt him at all, but the scouting could potentially